Alright, quick video, gonna go over all the ascendancies. They're pretty much all fully revealed now. So I'm debating about switching my starter again. I mean, I kind of wanted, I was split between Merc and Blood Mage, and now Blood Mage is looking real juicy. Honestly, what I predicted was gonna happen is every time an ascendancy gets full revealed, everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, this looks so OP, I'm gonna start that. And then another one's gonna be revealed, and everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, this looks so OP, I'm gonna start that. And so far, I've been pretty right. Um, pretty much just every time when it's full revealed, I'm like, what? That's sick. I think they did a really good job with the ascendancy designs and such. Like everything about it, the art, the actual nodes themselves, just cinema. So we got this one. This node's not new, but all of them are revealed now. We got crit damage bonus per 20 life. This can you could probably reasonably expect to get like 300% fairly easily. We got base crit chance for spells 50%. I don't think this node is super good because I think a lot of spells already have a high base crit chance in PoE2. So it's only like actually a 3% base chance bonus, not like going from 0 to 15. We got spell damage, leeches life. This is probably, I don't know, like the whole meta is gonna hinge on if leech is actually good or not. So we'll see. But if leech is good, I think that node's gonna be pretty much mandatory because all the leech they've shown so far is just like physical damage, leech's life. I'm pretty sure there's no other plays you can get like generic spell damage leech, maybe a unique or something, but so far we haven't really seen that. Blood barbs, this one's really interesting. Gain 10% of extra fizz damage, elemental damage, can inflict bleeding. That means you could go like, for example, a bleed fireball or something. You can go elemental bleeding builds, which is kind of cool. Your curses have infinite duration. Yeah, I'm not too impressed with that, as far as I know. I'm sure there's something good with it, but I haven't seen it yet. No, this is the really crazy one. 25% of life lost from damaging hits is lost over 4 seconds instead. So it's essentially like a progenesis built into your ascendancy. It's pretty crazy. Anything that like mitigates a hit from being a big chunk to damage over time is just insane. Crimson Power. This one's pretty good too. Gain ES from equipped body armor as extra maximum life. This could be like an extra 400 life on like a body armor. Because the ES values actually get pretty high. I don't know the max end, like the top end it could be, but I think it'll be relatively easy to get a couple hundred life from that. We got Infernalist. Become ignited when you deal a critical hit, taking 50% of your life and energy shield as fire damage per second. 30% more crit damage bonus. So that's pretty big for crit damage. You're just gonna need a lot of life recovery on this ascendancy. Summon Infernal Hound. We already knew this one. It's 20% DR from your Hellhound's life. Pyromantic Pact. Maximum mana is replaced by maximum Infernal Flame. Gain Infernal Flame. Instead of spending mana for skill cost, take max life and energy shield as fire damage. When Infernal Flame reaches max, lose all Infernal Flame on reaching maximum Infernal Flame. So many words. And then, while not on low Infernal Flame, all damage from you and your minions contribute to ignite and magnitude chance. Demonic Possession Demon Form, and I have a... Okay, I don't. Somewhere I do. Hold on. Let me see. There is a Demon Form tooltip. There we go. Demon Form. It looks pretty damn crazy. 16% increased cast speed on Demon Form, plus 4 to all spell skills when Demon Form. Lose 1% of life per second per Demon Flame, and then deal 10% increased spell damage per Demon Flame. So if you can stack a lot of that, it's just going to be crazy. And then this one's maximum 10 Demon Flame, so it'd make it really much easier to sustain 10 Demon Flame, but you only get 10 instead of infinite, basically, because before you get this, it'll just infinitely stack, as far as I know. So if you get 10, it just makes it more manageable. This one's interesting for defense. Cold lightning taken as fire damage, 20%. And then 20% of his damage taken as chaos damage. And this could work well with some node somewhere. Where is it? The node that makes your armor. Yes, there we go. 25% of armor also applies to fire damage taken from hits. Those would obviously pair very well together. That could be something really good. Get some armor and you take everything as fire. Huge. And then 20% Fizz is chaos. If you can get chaos res capped is really, really good for Fizz DR. Reserve, these ones are all kind of weird. Reserve 25% of life, plus 1 mana per 6 max life. They're all reserved 20%, 25% of life, and then various bonuses. I'm not super impressed with those, but I could just be missing something. Warrior Titan, we've kind of already known for a while. Slam skills cause aftershocks. Second slam skill, you use yourself as ancestrally boosted. Equip a chest, which has 20 inventory slots of this rucksack. And this one gives 50% bonus to all small passive nodes you have. I don't know if I have the actual thing here, but what this node is like every small node you take is 50% bonus. It's really crazy. Your hits are crushing blows. 20% more maximum life. 40% more damage against stunned enemies. Actually, I think I can open this here. There we go. Titan. So this one was missing stone skin, I believe. So that is armor from equipped body armor is doubled. So that would be this one. And then this one is not even here yet, but this one, I'm assuming it's going to get nerfed because, I mean, it's kind of OP, I think. But maybe because it's behind the rucksack, it's not super OP. 50% bonus to small passive skills. So, like, if something gave 10% life, it would give 15%. Deadeye. Gain tailwind on skill use, lose all tailwind when hit, and then 3% less damage taken per tailwind. Now in PoE2, there's some really fast attacks. It's like rapid fire or something. If you just spam that, theoretically, you could get just max tailwind pretty much permanently. Apply an additional mark. Far shot and point blank. Additional projectile, which should be really good. No accuracy penalty at distance. 30% chance that if you gain frenzy charges, you can instead gain up the max number of frenzy charges. Benefits from consuming frenzy charges on your skills have 50% chance to be doubled. There's some crazy stuff with that, like Rain of Arrows, which is probably going to be nerfed before it even goes live. But that's looking pretty strong with frenzy charge stuff. Pathfinder. Blast charges gained or doubled. Here's one from PoE1. Life flask effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled, so, you know, it'll just keep healing you. It's like overleech. Double the numbers of poison you can inflict on enemies. I'm not sure how poison's gonna be. Here's the flask stuff. 5 passive skill points. 30% less movement penalty when using skills while moving. And then you can gain immunity to slows from enemies. Chronomancer and Stormweaver are not filled out there, so I'll show the imager thing here. We got Tempest Caller, Elemental Storm, and then here's the tooltip thing for that. Honestly, I can't tell if it's good or not. It might be. Strike twice. Target can be affected by 2 of your shocks at the same time, and then 50% less shock duration. All damage from hits contributes to shock chance. Elemental Storm has 150% more cooldown recovery rate, so this will like proc a lot faster. You have Arcane Surge, and then here's a really good one. You increased effective Arcane Surge on you for 15 mana. Really good for Archmage stuff. Heart of the Storm, 40% of LE damage taken, recouped as ES. That could be good for ES builds. Scouring Winds. Exposure you inflict lowers the affected resistance by an additional 20%. So this is basically PoE2's version of Elementalist from PoE1, right? Targets can be affected by 2 chills at the same time, up to a maximum of 35% action speed reduction. That's kind of crazy. And then if you stack with something like temp chains or something, I'm not sure if they've said if there's a max. There's got to be a max because having a ton of action speed reduction on an enemy would be like crazy. Shaper of Winter, all damage from hits contributes to magnitude. Chill. And then Chronomancer is kind of weird. So we already know the skills. And then skills have 33% chance to not consume a cooldown when used. This could be used in combination of something like the Hammer of the Gods, which has a huge cooldown. And then if you like link it, there's a support that will make your damage do like 40% more at the cost of 8 more seconds on the cooldown. Pair it with something like this, and then you could like reset your cooldowns and stuff like that. And then you go boom, 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 try and chain them as many times as it lets you. And then this one, every 12 seconds gain 50% more cast speed for 4 seconds. I really don't like the cyclical buffs in this game. Well, in any game, I do not like gaining them on a like set timer. I think it feels bad. It felt bad in PvE1. Probably going to feel bad in this too. 30% of damage taken recouped is life. That could be pretty crazy for some interactions. Recouped effects instead occur over 4 seconds. Enemies in your presence are slowed by 20%. Yeah, you could, I don't know if you like stack this slow and then you have a stormweaver in your party that does double chill and then you have temp chains and whatnot. Could get crazy. Then we got Acolyte of Chayula. I don't think it's all shown there, so I'll look at it here. Where? Grants Into the Breach, and what this does is spawns the little hands, and then you walk over them and you get mana and life leech and damage. And then it's a stacking buff. It lasts for 5 seconds normally. And then you can get this, which Flames of Chayula duration is double. 23% chance to gain 25% of damage with hits as extra chaos, and then it just got the amount of damage goes up and the chance goes down. Chaos res is doubled. Maximum chaos res plus 10. Here's the crazy part of the Ascendancy, or else the craziest interaction I think there is. Mana Leech is instant. And then you can also do Mana Leech effects, recover energy shield. So that's some crazy synergy right there for defense. Embrace the darkness stuff. Not really sure how good this is going to be. But it removes your spirit, replaces it with darkness. And then when you take damage, it reserves the darkness. And then reduce the darkness reservation duration. And then you also get more damage per unreserved darkness. Or chaos damage. And then here's Invoker. Gain 1 spirit for every ES and evasion on equipped body armor, 6 and 15 respectively. Cannot gain spirit from equipment. Don't know how good that's going to be. But the really crazy thing is the node behind it. That looks really good. Evasion rating also grants physical damage reduction. This thing, kind of crazy. I think it gives you 40% less evasion rating, but it giving you phys damage reduction as well seems really good to me. Meta skills gain 35% more energy. How good this will be is yet to be seen. Meta skills gaining energy is like, for example, cast on crit. You have to gain 100 energy for it to actually cast the skill, right? And this will make you get it 35% faster. Thunder my enemies, critical hits, ignore non-negative elemental resistances. So what this means is you just ignore the resistance, right? It is as if they don't have one unless you're already hitting them for negative, which means it's better than the Inquisitor in PvE1, because the PvE1 essentially, you will lose damage if you're somehow going below 0, right? And so in PvE1 you can still reduce, there's some confusion on this, you can actually reduce the resistance below 0, but it cannot penetrate below 0. So if they're at like 0 resistance, you can't penetrate to negative 30 by getting 30 pen, right? But you can still reduce it via curses. And then scatter them to the winds. Elemental expression. I'm not sure what this one is actually. I think that's the one with like the waves and stuff come out of the staff. I'm not 100% sure. Then Gemling legionnaire. I don't know what's going on here. I'll just look at the picture. We got 1% level to all skills. I need to look at how much you actually get from +1 skills. I'm not sure. Plus 10% to quality of all skills. Quality of skills, on the other hand, looks really crazy. Gain 3 additional skill slots. Inherent bonuses from int, strength, and dex are doubled. So this could be really, really good for if you're going some kind of int stacker, strength stacker, or whatever. Whatever stacker. It could be any of the 3, obviously. 30% less cost of skills. Skill gems have 30% more attribute requirements. I'm not sure about this one. It's yet to be seen how much resource drain skills are really going to be. You can use 2 copies of the same sport and different skills. So if you want to use like elemental focus and 2 skills, you can do that. And if you didn't know, you can only use 1 skill gem or 1 sport gem on your character at any given time. But this makes you let you use it 2 times. Adaptive capability attribute requirements of gems can be satisfied by your highest attribute. And then this one was actually nerfed. So this was +1 to max res per 3 support gems before. Now it's 4. Still should be very good though. Then we got Witchhunter. This one's been revealed for a while. 20 weapon set skill points. Falling strike, and then hits against full damage and full life enemies removes between 5% and 30% of life before the first before the damage of the hit is applied. Sorry, I'm like rushing through this. I don't want to do this right now, but I should. So I'm going to do it. Sorry for stumbling on my words the whole time. I'm trying to rush. Deal up to 30% more damage to enemies based on the missing concentration. Grant skills, sorcery, war, 50% less. Armor evasion, and then 50% increased. I'm not sure. I don't think these will be that good, but it might be. And then here's the explodey chance node. Warbringer. I think I missed this one. Break armor equal to 10% of hit damage dealt. I'm not sure how good that is. Wooden wall, 20% of damage from hits is taken from your nearest totem's life before you. This one should be pretty good if you're a totem build. It's like 20% DR, right? Corpses in your presence explode when you war cry, dealing 25% of life as fizz damage, and then you get ignore war cry cooldowns. So that could be some kind of clearing build. Hurdle charm can block damage from all hits while shield is not raised. So I think this essentially means it'll work like PoE 1 block, where you just block everything. Because in PoE 2, I don't think you can block like slams, right? In this, you should be able to. It's kind of like evasion and block and stuff. You can't avoid AoE hits, which are slams, right? Something along those lines. You can break enemy armor to below 0. Yeah, I'm not sure how the whole breaking armor thing really works yet, but find out. In 50% chance to block from equipped shield instead of the shield's value, so it's kind of like the gladiator node in PoE 1, where it just sets you at a static 50% chance from your shield. It should make it really easy to get block cap. And I think that should be all of them. Honestly, they're peak game design. I think they're really crazy. I think it's going to be really hard for me to actually settle on one specific character to start with, but we will see. Right now I'm leaning towards Blood Mage.